condition of the soil at the location of construction, other surrounding structures, water table below, property limits, and many more depending on site conditions. Once the foundations are laid for a structure, it is very difficult or impossible to repair or inspect it for structural damages. Hence, it is very important to select or design appropriate foundations. Foundations are broadly divided into two categories. First is shallow foundations and second is deep foundations. Shallow foundations are nearer to the surface, whereas deep foundations, as the name suggests, are embedded deeper in earth. Now let us see various types of shallow foundations. These types of foundations are used when the soil has sufficient strength within a short depth below the ground level. First is isolated footings, which are provided under each column individually. They can be just a uniform thickness reinforced concrete pads and can be square, rectangular, or circular in plan as per design and analysis requirements. They can also be provided below individual shear wall. Isolated footings can be sloped or in steps as per design or construction requirements. Next comes combined footings, which accommodate more than one column. When the spacing of adjacent columns is so close that the separated isolated footings are not possible due to overlapping areas of foundations or inadequate clear space between two areas of the footings, combined footings are provided. Such footings are either rectangular or trapezoidal in plan with or without beam joining the two columns. Next we'll look at strap footings. When two isolated footings are combined by a beam with a view to share loads of both columns is known as strap footings. The connection beam is designated as strap beam. These footings are required if loads are heavy on columns and the area of foundations are not overlapping with each other. Next in shallow footings we have is eccentric footing, which is a type of isolated footings in which column is at the edge of the footing. It is constructed when the exterior column is close to the boundary or property line and hence there is no scope to extend footings beyond the column face. In this case, the eccentric footing is connected by a strap beam to the isolated footings. Next is strip or wall foundations, which are long strips especially for reinforced concrete walls or load-bearing masonry walls. The concrete walls on strip footings can be retaining walls, basement walls, or core walls. Last in shallow foundations we have is raft or mat foundation. This type of foundation is provided when column loads are heavy or safe bearing capacity of soil is very low. These are special cases of combined footings when all the columns of the building have common foundation. Raft can have local thickenings or drop below columns if the thickness of raft is insufficient for shear stresses. This ends our shallow foundations. Next we have is deep foundations. These types of foundations are used when there is poor condition of soil near to the surface, which means the bearing capacity of soil is very less. Pile foundations are a type of deep foundations with long vertical load transferring members made of steel or concrete. Piles are in fact small diameter columns which are driven or cast into the ground by suitable means. Precast piles are driven and cast in situ are cast. They are normally provided in a group with a pile cap at the top through which the loads of the superstructure are transferred to the piles. These piles transfer load to the hard strata deep below the surface. This types of piles is called as end-bearing pile. If the hard strata is not available, the piles transfer load via skin friction mechanism in which friction is developed between soil and pile surface. Rough foundations can be combined with piles when more number of piles are closely spaced and the whole raft act as a big pile cap. That's it for this video guys. If you liked this video, give it a thumbs up and leave a comment. More such content will follow, so do subscribe the channel and hit the bell icon to get notified for new videos. Thanks for watching, see you in the next one.